Hello, everyone. I bet you're excited. I am finally back to do some card readings. Now, I have a little bit of a different setup. It's going to take me a couple weeks to get my main setup right. But I thought it would be nice to at least do a 3-card draw, find out what's happening for the week, and that will give me some time to get back into the flow of doing readings. So our choices are going to be, this is our Wisdom Buddha, or Green Buddha, our Blue Harmony Buddha, and this one is my favorite, our Pink Peace Buddha. Okay, now along with the 3 cards, we are going to do some charms just to add it up into the mix. Always a good thing. So pause if you need to, and let's get started with our readings. Okay, group number 1 with our Green Buddha. Let's put him over here as a mascot. Let's see what we have going here. Okay, we have the Voice card, Union card, and Feline card. Now this is interesting. The Union card, although, often it's talking about intimate relationships, with a partner, the Union card is about your connecting with other people, but doing it at a level that is not just on the superficial, not just the, hey, how's it going, great weather, that sort of thing. And we have the Voice card right behind it. So this one is really the one I should start with, because with the Voice card, it is asking you, or, encouraging you to speak up and speak out. And whether that means to one individual or out in the world in general, there's something about you being more vocal and not holding back your truth anymore. But with this card, okay, I'm just going to bring this up nice and close. So we have these 2 hues of purple, which really represent the crown and third eye chakras. So that is about speaking from a higher place, speaking from a place of wisdom. And there's green kind of woven through here. The green represents the heart chakra. So making sure that you're in that, heart-mind resonance kind of place when you're speaking and communicating. And then it comes out into these hues of yellow, which is empowerment. And so, this is talking about you coming into that place of empowerment for yourself by speaking your truth or sharing some wisdom, sharing knowledge, sharing information in some way, somehow. Now, that's where this is interesting, because we have the Union card. So this can be seen in a couple ways, because whether you have been focusing on your own personal growth, spiritual connection, and that sort of thing, and kind of, speaking what you are getting as far as intuitive information, or trying to speak more from your higher self, this is about that kind of a union, or working in harmony and conjunction with your higher self, your guides, angels, whatever you want to say. But this can also be, if you are in relationship, that it's time for you to speak up in your relationships, and that can be friendships, work relationships, anything where it's a little bit more than a casual hello. Okay, so there's something about you speaking your truth this week, and whether that's out in the public or in your intimate relationships, it's going to vary depending. But what's fascinating to me is we have the Feline card, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is like 2 eyes, a long snout, and the little cat-like mouth. And with that Feline card, this one is talking about these big leap forward, this movement that is taking you from this place of kind of withholding, with what needs to be said and what you need to do vocally, and having this huge leap forward. So there's a big growth action happening this week for you. So, and again, that's going to depend whether this is related to your job, your relationship, personal friendships, things like that, or even in a more public way if you're doing some sort of social media or something. There's a lot of growth happening for you guys this week, but you're going to have to trust and allow yourself to be seen, to have that, deeper intimacy with other people, allowing them to see your heart and communicating your heart in that way. Okay, so let's get out our charms and see what they have to say. Okay, so we have our bag of lucky charms. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, now that's interesting. So, here, I'll hold that up for you for a sec. Now, we have 2 astrological signs showing up here. So we have Leo and we have Cancer. So Leo and Cancer, these could be certain types of people that you're needing to deal with this week. So with Leos, Leos have a lot of pride. So make sure that when you are communicating with your Leo people, that you're using gentle verbiage, that can't be construed as offensive, because even though Leos have a lot of pride, they're very sensitive folk, right? So there's being aware of that and not being offensive in any sort of way. And then we have the Cancer. So Cancer energy, Cancers tend to, when they feel stressed and pressured in any sort of way, they tend to withdraw into their shell. So, this could be either people that you are encountering this week, or the kind of energy that you need to kind of embrace, which is taking more pride, allowing yourself to be seen, and allowing that nurturing moon energy, because moon rules Cancer, right? Which is the public, parenting, mothering, intuition, that sort of thing. So that energy is absolutely going on here. And, okay, we've got a double theme happening here. So we have a little turtle, and I just finished saying that this is about coming out of your shell. So this is definitely you guys coming out of your shell. And we have a little moon. Look at that. So that goes right along with our Cancer energy there. More of that moon, intuition, nurturing, mothering, the public, the body. The moon also represents the body. And we've got an owl. So owl, while they are night creatures, they're able to, see through the darkness, see through the murkiness, and really tap into that deeper wisdom, which is really brilliant for what you guys are, the theme that you guys are working with today. And we have the cat. So again, feline, you guys had the feline card, and we've got the cat. So we have a lot of double powerful messages coming through here. And we have Saturn. So Saturn in astrology is father time. Saturn rules time, and it is authority, the father type figure. And this is about you coming into your own place of being an authority, but not an authority over anyone, right? And allowing, the time, because Saturn is time and karma. And so it's almost like saying it's coming up to, this is your time, right? So it's time for you guys to step into that more leadership type of position. And then this is the last one I'll read out of this pile, but we also have the a ship's wheel. And this is about you being in charge of your destiny. You're the one steering the ship. You know, you're the one taking control back of your life and becoming your own authority and really speaking up for yourself. And like I said, with the cards and the cat, the feline, this is huge growth for you guys, huge growth. So this is going to be a very interesting week. Hello, number 2, with our little blue Buddha. We're going to put him here as our mascot. And let's see what we have. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Integrity and fearlessness. Okay. These, wow. You guys have some powerhouse cards this week. So the first one that I want to start with is this integrity card. Because when this one comes up, you know, sometimes it's speaking about being mindful of the integrity of others, which likely is going to be some part of your theme this week. But this is also a reminder to stay in alignment with your own integrity, no matter what comes up, you know, because oftentimes we have these events happen that, you know, we want to knee-jerk react, and maybe that reaction isn't really in alignment with our integrity, but it's more in alignment with our ego reaction. And so this is reminding you to stay in alignment with your integrity and to only accept the highest integrity in others, right? And we have the love card. So, you know, there isn't a card in this deck yet, maybe in my next deck, that's forgiveness. And I'm getting that sort of vibe or feeling. So where reading number 1 was more about the relationship part of it, I'm feeling this love, forgiveness sort of theme happening here. And this could be with a significant person, you know, a friend or intimate relationship. But this is really giving me more of a feeling, like my hands are even turning off from this, that this is more about that relationship with yourself and having integrity with yourself and acting from a place of love and in the heart of love with yourself. Now, again, that could be with other people. This is going to change, but often I find the relationships that we're having with the people around us are truly only reflecting the relationship that we're having within ourselves, with ourself. And so there's something about that vibe of forgiveness. So I'm not sure if you guys need to forgive yourself or someone else for something that's going on here and coming into an alignment more with the power of love and forgiveness. But we have this powerhouse card. You know, it's got these big wings, that wing-like look in this fractal. And that fearlessness is about doing what's difficult sometimes for us to do, and trusting that, you know, when we kind of step out of our regular realm of operating and working, we can feel a lot of fear because it's the unknown. And this is saying, you know what? It's about having just a little bit of faith and a little bit of trust in your higher self and in spirit, in what needs to unfold, and staying in alignment with what you really believe is true for you and true in your relationships, and operating from that place of love. Now, I want to see, we're going to get out our charms and see if the charms can add a little bit more understanding to this. So just hold on. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. We might as well drop them. So we have a couple initials here. Now that's interesting. We have a butterfly, and a fairy. So 2 winged creatures after I just finished showing you the fearless card, which are these fractal-like wings. So there's something about you spreading your wings, that transformation sort of thing. And we have the peace symbol, which should really be like that. But there's something about bringing peace, coming to a place of acceptance or forgiveness in this situation. And we also have the letter R, the letter G, and the letter O. So that could be indicating initials or letters of people who may be involved, potentially. And what else do we have? We have a pizza, a knife, we have the letter A. Oh, look at that. More heart, working in union with the heart. Okay, and I want to talk about this because we have a little crown. And, in a way, that's about operating from the crown chakra, from that higher place of wisdom and understanding. But it's also like when you think of a prince or a princess or a queen and a king, and it's not about gender, it's the idea of treating yourself, knowing that you deserve the best, you deserve better, and allowing yourself to receive that from other people and treat yourself that way too. So, this week, maybe even consider allowing yourself to get a little treat, a little something that maybe you wouldn't have normally have given to yourself, because this is a lot about self-love going on. And we have 2 keys. So I feel like there's something, it's almost like there's something they're holding back in this reading. And it's like you need to wait and see. So we have 2 more. Look at this, bumblebee, dragonfly. We have all these winged creatures, and we have a bat. Now, a bat in North American animal medicine, bat represents change. Okay, so there's something, you guys are in a shift this week. I feel like there isn't some big conclusion, but maybe next week is where things kind of conclude or come together. I feel like this week, it's just the encouragement to get you guys moving into that place of really becoming, doing the hard truths with yourself about what it is you want, what it is you need, and operating from that place of love with yourself in a fearless kind of way. Don't let your head get in the way of this, okay? Okay, group number 3 with our pink peace Buddha, and we'll put him right there. And let's see what we have. Okay, confidence, rejuvenation, return of spirit. Whew. Okay. Wherever we have spirals, we have growth, change, expansion. So whatever is going on this week, you've got that energy. But I feel, you've got the return of spirit card, which is truly a powerhouse card, because pinks and greens represent chakra, the heart chakra. And you've got all this yellow, and it's like kind of, feeling like you've got some wind in your sails this week. A return of spirit, a return to spirit, a return to yourself. Maybe you're going to be more willing to put yourself out in the world this week, or at least get the energy building up in the background to do that. With the rejuvenation card, like I said, it is growth, expansion. This is a growth sort of week. But there's also a strong element of healing. So whether this is emotional healing, spiritual healing, mental healing, right? There's some element of that healing in there, And like return of spirit and rejuvenation kind of have similar themes in this coming back to feeling better, doing better. And I feel like there's something that with this confidence card, that healing that I'm talking about that's coming in this week, it kind of gives you, something might be going on or happen this week that kind of gives you that little boost of confidence that you've maybe been lacking, because oftentimes our head is just talking us down and trying to keep us suppressed and small. And it feels like this is about kind of breaking out of that this week and feeling that kind of like, you know what? Maybe I can do this, or maybe I can do that. And because again, with this reading, I feel like there's something more that it's moving to, that this isn't one of those weeks where something definitive happens and you can say, oh, it's this. I feel like this is building up. This is a momentum and a movement into getting your mojo back, and feeling better about yourself, about who you are, and going, just hell yeah, I can do this. And with that return of spirit card, there's usually what comes with that is the where, like what direction, right? Because a lot of the times we're just kind of lost. And I feel like this week is pointing you or steering you toward a particular area, direction, and where maybe, a month ago or a year ago, you would have said, oh God, no, I can't do that. This week is something about you going, you know what? Maybe I can. Now, let's get out our charms and see what they have to say. Okay, a big bag of tricks. Let's see what's in here. Put out just a couple more here. We've got some letters and initials. We have M, O, B, I don't know about a Q, I, 2 eyes. 2 eyes. So is that symbolic of 2 eyes, of seeing more clearly this week, which is where the confidence comes from? Or is this 2 eyes as in focusing on yourself? I am important. I am what I need to focus on this week. And being self-focused. That's kind of the energy. But with the other letters, that could very well be the initials of people who are important for you this week. Now, I am just going to go over here to this. It's so cute. This little footprint. And that footprint is talking about making your mark in this world. Leaving your impression in the world. And that, I feel, is what this confidence and second wind and coming into your own and having more, a deeper kind of spiritual connection and understanding and guidance kind of pushing you forward. And I feel like that's where it's going, or where it's heading here. And we have the spider. Okay, so spider in native spirituality is the alphabet weaver. And so with Mother Spider, it's about telling our story, and whether that means actually telling other people our story or getting things down on paper, whether you're just putting out ideas of things you feel like you might want to do as far as your path and purpose, or journaling, that sort of thing, just like, getting the garbage that's out of your head onto paper, crumpling it up, throwing it away, just to make space and clear the way for, that higher connection and that sort of thing. There's something about journaling, writing, that with the spider. And we have a key happening here. So, oh goodness. Okay, we have 2 keys happening here. So with the keys, it's like there's something unlocking, some door opening for you. And that's what this is all about. But, we can't just go running through the door. Sometimes we need to do a little prep work and get ourselves, fully rejuvenated. Not just step out when we only have a half a tank of gas. We want a full tank of gas. We want our well fully replenished before we start giving water to the thirsty people. And also interesting is, this one might be harder to see, but it has a little tree etched in it. And we have a bigger tree here. So, with a tree, one is the tree of life, being connected to that source that gives you life, that feeds you and nourishes you. But there's also, with the tree, is one, the roots and staying grounded, because that tree needs to keep well rooted into the ground. So there's something about staying grounded this week and remembering that you're going through your season, whatever your season is. But to me, this feels like spring coming into summer, into like full blossom and full bloom. And the other thing that we have here that I just need to show you is we have this little unicorn, okay? And so that to me is like the magical, that mystical thing that you think maybe I can never have that or do that or whatever, but I really believe you can. And it's about trusting that process and going after that which you feel, which your mind is telling you is unobtainable, but it actually is obtainable. Okay. So you guys have a little bit more work to do, getting yourself into alignment and allowing that full flow of confidence to come back, because there's something about your path and purpose that is unfolding here for you this week.